Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're going to try something really different.
Different how?
We're not just exploring a topic.
Right.
We're going to try and see it through the eyes of an AI. So
Interesting.
like pure logic and analysis,
I like it.
our subject, the Declaration of Independence.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So imagine an AI encountering this document, like for the first time.
Right.
What would it,
What would stand out?
yeah. How would it process all the arguments and the justifications and everything?
That's our challenge today.
It is. It
Okay,
is.
I'm excited.
We've got the full text.
Okay.
No skimming allowed.
All right.
We're going deep
Deep
to the
dive.
founding principles of America through the consciousness of an AI.
Love it.
Get ready for some aha moment. This is going to be fun.
I think so.
So the Declaration starts by saying its purpose, explaining why the colonies are choosing to separate.
And AI would immediately see this as like setting the framework for a logical argument.
Okay, so right from the start, it's like the AI is seeing this is not just some kind of emotional outburst.
Right.
They're presenting a case.
Exactly.
It's like they're saying,
Yeah.
hey, we're not just like rebelling on a whim here.
Right.
We've got reasons.
We're going to lay them out.
Yeah.
Here they are.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Appealing to reason and transparency, inviting scrutiny of its claims.
All right. So it gets interesting now
Okay.
because the Declaration then moves on to those,
Famous.
self-evident truths.
Yes.
All men are created equal, endowed with certain unalienable rights.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Big stuff.
Powerful stuff.
But how would an AI driven by pure logic
Yeah,
interpret these, quote, self-evident truths?
right. Because it's like,
Well, an AI would likely pause at the phrase self-evident,
okay.
and it might even ask, self-evident to whom?
Mm-hmm.
Based on what data?
Right.
Remember, AI relies on evidence.
And logical reasoning, not assumptions.
Okay.
So it would want to investigate the historical context,
Yeah.
understand the,
The beliefs at the time.
so the AI is already like
Probing deeper.
digging in a little deeper,
Yeah.
recognizing that what might seem obvious to us
To humans. Yeah.
might not be so clear-cut
Yeah.
in a purely logical framework.
It's like it's highlighting like potential blind spots in our own thinking.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's not about dismissing the ideals.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But understanding the framework in which they were considered self-evident,
Yeah.
this is where I think the AI's perspective can be really interesting.
It's reminding us that even seemingly straightforward statements can have layers of complexity when you look at them through a different lens.
Yeah.
Okay, so the AI has kind of processed that opening.
It's working through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens
Yeah.
next? Well, the Declaration states that governments are instituted among men to secure these rights.
Okay.
Okay, and deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed.
So this is where the Declaration's laying out its political philosophy.
It is, yeah.
Government exists to protect individual rights.
Right.
And its legitimacy comes from the people it governs.
Absolutely.
I mean,
That's like Democracy 101.
it is.
Right.
Yeah.
An AI encounter in this
Right.
would likely recognize this as, a key principle of democratic theory,
Yeah.
the social contract,
Right.
the idea that government's power isn't inherent, but granted by the people.
Okay, but how would an AI even grapple with the concept of consent?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Especially in a historical context where not everyone had an equal say in government.
Right.
So you know what I mean?
It's going to want to dig into how consent was understood and practiced in 18th century America.
Okay.
It's going to analyze voting rights and any factors that might influence or undermine true consent.
So the AI is forcing us to confront like the complexities and contradictions inherent in this idea of consent.
I think so.
It's making us think more critically about how these ideals actually played out in practice,
It is.
not just what's written down.
Not in theory, yeah, in practice.
Yeah, exactly.
And that leads us to, I think, the next,
Go.
big point,
Okay.
the right to revolution.
Ooh, this is a good one.
The Declaration states that when any form of government becomes destructive of these ends,
Uh-huh.
it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it.
Wow. Okay.
That's all.
That's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
It's essentially saying if the government fails to live up to its end of the bargain, the people have the right to overthrow it.
Yeah.
I mean, is that
Here's where the AI's logical framework, I think, would really kick in.
okay?
It would see this as a direct consequence of the previous point.
Right.
If the government derives its legitimacy from the consent of the governed.
And it fails to protect their rights.
Right.
Then the social contract is broken.
Okay.
Justifying revolution as a last resort.
So it's like the AI is building like a chain of reasoning,
It is, yeah.
each link logically connected to the previous one.
I like that. That's a good visual.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the AI's grasped the foundational principle, the why behind the declaration.
Okay.
But what about the how?
Yeah.
How does it even assess the actual grievances against, King George and the British government?
Right. Well, this is where the AI shifts
Okay.
from those abstract principles
Mm-hmm.
to concrete data. It's going to examine the list of 27 grievances presented in the declaration,
Right.
treating them like pieces of evidence to be analyzed.
So now it's like detective mode.
It is.
What kind of things is it looking for when examining these accusations?
It's going to focus on actions
Okay.
that demonstrate a violation of those principles we talked about.
The right to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. The Declaration accuses King George of obstructing colonial laws,
Okay.
interfering with the judicial process,
Right.
quartering troops, imposing taxes without consent.
I mean, that sounds pretty damning.
It does, yeah.
But would an AI simply take these accusations at face value?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Remember, it's programmed for objectivity, looking for corroborating evidence from historical records. It would want to understand the British perspective,
Uh-huh.
the context surrounding each situation.
So it's like the AI is playing devil's advocate here,
It is.
demanding a thorough investigation before reaching a conclusion.
Exactly. And that brings us to a very interesting point.
Okay.
The Declaration states, to prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world.
Oh, the appeal to evidence.
It is, but wait a minute. Are
Yeah.
these facts simply one side of the story?
Right.
And an AI would recognize the potential for bias in any historical account.
Right.
So it would look for multiple sources,
Mhm.
cross-reference information, carefully evaluating the reliability of each source.
It's like the AI is now the ultimate fact checker,
It is.
following the evidence wherever it leads,
Yeah.
regardless of any preconceived narratives.
Yeah, this is where its perspective, I think,
Yeah.
becomes really valuable.
It's like it's holding up a magnifying glass to the Declaration,
It is.
forcing us to see it in a whole new light.
Absolutely.
This is incredible.
And we've only just begun.
Okay.
There's so much more to uncover as we delve deeper into the AI's analysis of this
I'm ready.
this monumental document.
All right, let's go. We just explored how an AI might, meticulously examine the evidence presented against King George,
Right.
like conducting its own little investigation piece by piece.
Exactly. Remember, it wouldn't just accept the colonists' claims at face value. It would cross-reference those claims with historical record, look for different viewpoints,
Yeah.
weigh the strength of the evidence overall.
So let's say, the AI finishes its investigation.
Okay.
What's next in the analysis?
Well, having examined the evidence, an AI would then want to assess the declaration as a whole.
Okay.
The declaration isn't just a list of complaints.
Right.
It's a formal argument.
It's laying out a case for
Yeah.
why separating from Great Britain is justified.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And an AI, with its focus on logic and structure,
Yeah.
would be very interested in how sound that argument is.
Okay, so how would an AI go about analyzing the Declaration as a logical argument?
It would break it down into its key parts, the premises, the evidence, and the conclusion.
Okay.
The premises are those fundamental principles laid out at the beginning. Remember,
The self-evident truths.
the self-evident truths about equality
Okay.
and the purpose of government.
So the AI would go back to those self-evident truths and really scrutinize them.
Absolutely. It would examine the logical coherence of those principles.
Yeah.
Look at the assumptions they're based on.
Okay.
Explore potential counter-arguments.
It's like the AI is questioning the very foundation
In a sense.
of the Declaration, checking if those core principles even hold up. It's not doing this out of disrespect or skepticism.
Right,
It's simply applying a rigorous logical framework
right.
to understand the argument.
Okay, so the AI has analyzed the premises. But
Mhm.
what about the evidence?
Yeah.
We talked about how it would investigate those grievances against King George.
Right, and it would carefully consider
Okay,
if that evidence is strong enough to support the claims of a tyrannical government violating those core principles.
yeah.
It would ask, do these grievances truly show a violation of the colonists' rights as outlined in the Declaration?
The AI is acting as both judge and jury here.
weigh in the evidence,
Yeah.
determining if it's even enough to justify such a drastic action as declaring independence.
Precisely. And this is where things can get complex.
Okay.
Historical events are rarely black and white. Interpretations can differ greatly.
Yeah.
The AI might find that some grievances are more compelling than others,
Mm-hmm.
or that some claims need more investigation.
So even an AI,
Even an AI,
with its commitment to logic, could still run into ambiguity and complexity when dealing with real-world historical events.
it highlights, I think, the limitations of pure logic.
Okay.
Human affairs are often messy,
Right.
unpredictable. Even the most advanced AI might struggle to account for every variable.
Okay, so let's imagine the AI has examined the premises, examined the evidence.
Okay.
What's like the final step in this analysis?
The AI would then evaluate the conclusion of the declaration.
That these colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states.
That's it. That's the heart of it. And the AI would assess whether that conclusion logically follows
Okay.
from the premises and the evidence presented. It would ask, given all this information,
Yeah.
is this decision to declare independence a logically sound conclusion?
I mean, that's a big question.
It is.
Is there even a right or wrong answer here?
I don't know.
Could an AI definitively say whether the declaration is logically valid?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
And it's something that, human historians and legal scholars still debate today.
Yeah.
The beauty of the Declaration is that it invites this kind of critical analysis.
It's like a living document, constantly being reinterpreted.
Reinterpret,
Debated, yeah.
through the ages, yeah.
So the AI's analysis,
Right.
while fascinating, would ultimately be just one perspective.
One of,
Among many.
yeah. So what would even be the value of an AI's analysis if it can't tell us definitively whether the Declaration is right or wrong?
I think the value lies in the process itself. By dissecting the declaration with pure logic,
Uh-huh.
the AI can highlight hidden assumptions, point out logical fallacies,
Okay.
and reveal new interpretations that we humans might overlook.
It's like a fresh set of eyes, helping us to see familiar things in new and unexpected ways.
Exactly. And this is why I think AI can be such a powerful tool
Yeah.
for understanding complex historical documents and events. It challenges our biases, it broadens our perspectives,
Okay.
and it encourages more nuanced and
Yeah.
informed discussions.
Like the AI is encouraging us to think more deeply
I think so.
and critically about the very foundations
Of our
of
nation.
our nation. Yeah.
This is incredible.
It really makes you wonder, what if we used this AI-powered analysis on other founding documents?
Right.
Like the Constitution.
Or the Bill of Rights.
What would we discover?
We might find even more insights and complexities
I think so.
that shape our understanding of
Yeah.
American history and democracy.
Yeah, each document's like a puzzle waiting to be solved.
Exactly, yeah.
That's a thought to explore another time.
Okay.
But for now, let's continue our exploration of the Declaration,
Right.
focusing on the AI's perspective on the document's language
Okay.
and the way it uses words to make its case.
Okay, so we're shifting gears a bit
Oh, yeah.
from pure logic to the art of persuasion.
How would an AI even analyze how the Declaration uses language to achieve its goals?
This is where the AI's ability to process massive amounts of text and identify patterns would come in.
Okay.
We would analyze the vocabulary, the sentence structure, the tone,
Okay.
to see how the Declaration builds its narrative and appeals to its audience.
So it's like the AI is becoming a literary critic,
You could say dissecting the Declaration's style and rhetoric.
for example.
Okay.
The AI might notice the frequent use of strong emotional language in the Declaration.
Okay.
Words like tyranny, despotism, usurpations.
Those are fighting words.
They are.
It's clear that the Declaration is trying to evoke a strong emotional response.
Exactly. And an AI would recognize this as a deliberate rhetorical strategy.
Okay.
The Declaration isn't just presenting a logical argument. It's also appealing to the passions and values of its audience.
So the AI is picking up on like the emotional undercurrent of the
Yeah,
Declaration,
I think so.
even as it's analyzing its logical structure.
Right.
It's like it's understanding the document on multiple levels.
Precisely. And this is important because it highlights the multifaceted nature of the Declaration.
Okay.
It's both a legal document and a work of literature. a call to action,
Right.
and a statement of principles.
It's like the Declaration's working on both our heads and our hearts at the same time.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
AI,
Yeah.
with its ability to process both logical and linguistic data, is perfectly suited to understand in
This complex interplay.
this complex interplay.
This is fascinating. It's making me see the Declaration not just as like a historical document,
Right.
but as like a carefully crafted masterpiece
Yes.
of rhetoric and persuasion
Yeah.
designed to achieve very specific goals.
And that's exactly what makes it such a compelling
Yeah.
and enduring text.
Yeah.
Even centuries later.
Right.
Its words resonate, inspiring movements for freedom and justice all over the world.
It's become a universal symbol of these core human values.
Yeah.
A beacon of hope for those fighting for a better world.
Precisely. And that brings us to, I think, one final element
Okay.
that an AI would likely focus on:
What's that?
the Declaration's inherent contradictions.
Contradictions. What do you mean?
Well, think about it. The Declaration famously proclaims that all men are created equal,
Right.
but the reality of 18th century America
Yeah.
was far from equal.
Yeah.
Slavery was widespread. Women had very few rights.
Right.
Indigenous populations face constant threats to their land and way of life.
You're right. There's a definite gap between the Declaration's ideals
Yeah,
and the actual experiences of many people at the time.
exactly. And an AI, with its pattern recognition abilities, would likely pick up on this discrepancy.
Okay.
It might raise questions about the scope and limitations of the Declaration's principles. Who did they truly apply to?
So the AI isn't just analyzing the text itself.
Right.
It's considering the broader historical and social context in which
Yeah.
it was written.
Precisely. And this is where the AI's analysis, I think, becomes truly powerful.
Okay.
By connecting those dots, the text and the context,
Yeah.
it reveals deeper layers of meaning and complexity.
It's like the AI is helping us see the Declaration not just as a static document,
Right.
but as a product of its time, shaped by the social norms
Yeah.
and political realities of that era.
Exactly. And that understanding is key to appreciating both the Declaration's achievements and its shortcomings.
Right.
It reminds us that even revolutionary documents
Yeah.
are embedded within their historical context, reflecting both the aspirations and the contradictions of their time.
This is incredible. It's like the AI is not only analyzing the Declaration,
Right.
but like prompting us to ask these like bigger questions
Yeah.
about history, equality, and what freedom even means.
And that's precisely the point.
Yeah.
It's about challenging our assumptions,
Yeah.
broadening our perspectives, and
Okay.
gaining a deeper understanding of our past.
This has been a real eye-opener.
Good.
It's amazing how looking at the Declaration through an AI's perspective has revealed so many layers of meaning.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
what's the key takeaway for our listener?
Okay.
What's the one thing you want them to remember from this whole exploration?
I think the key takeaway is the importance of critical thinking
Okay.
and the power of multiple perspectives. Just as an AI can analyze the Declaration with a detached and logical lens, we too can benefit from questioning our assumptions, challenging our biases, seeking out different interpretations. It's about actively engaging with ideas,
Yeah.
not just accepting them at face value.
That's such a valuable lesson.
I think so.
It's a reminder that history isn't just a collection of facts.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing conversation.
It is.
A constant process of interpreting and reinterpreting the past.
Exactly. And by engaging in this process with an open mind and a willingness to consider different viewpoints,
Yeah.
we can gain a much richer and more nuanced understanding of the history.
So this deep dive into the Declaration of Independence.
It's really been a journey not just through history,
Right.
but through the very process of like thinking and understanding.
Precisely. And as we face an increasingly complex world,
Yeah.
I think the skill, critical thinking, empathy,
Uh-huh.
the ability to see multiple perspectives
Yeah.
become even more crucial.
Well said. So we've been exploring the Declaration of Independence
We have.
through the unique lens of an AI
Right.
uncovering fascinating insights along the way.
Yeah, peeling back the layers, right.
Yeah.
Revealing the logical framework, the rhetorical strategies,
Uh-huh.
even the contradictions embedded within this,
Powerful document.
powerful document. Yeah.
And now, as we like wrap up our deep dive,
Okay.
I'm curious about one final aspect. How would an AI assess like the lasting impact of the Declaration?
That's a great question.
It's not just a piece of history, right?
Got
It's a document that continues to shape the world today.
It does. With its access to massive amounts of data,
Right.
would be very interested in tracing those ripple effects of the Declaration
Right.
across time and geography.
So it's like the AI is zooming out,
It is.
looking at the big picture, and seeing how the Declaration has influenced
Right.
other movements, revolutions,
Revolutions, yeah.
declarations of independence throughout history.
Precisely. It would look for those core principles: equality, rights, self-determination,
Okay.
and track how they've been reinterpreted in countless struggles for freedom and justice around the world.
It's amazing to think that a document written over 2 centuries ago
I know.
could have such a far-reaching impact.
It is.
It's like the Declaration planted a seed that has grown into a forest of movement, each drawn inspiration from its core ideal.
That's a great analogy. I think the Declaration's emphasis on natural rights
Huh?
and the consent of the governed has been cited in countless constitutions and declarations of human rights around the world.
So even though it was written in a specific historical context,
Right.
its message has transcended time and borders,
It has.
inspiring in people across generations and continents.
Absolutely. And that's a testament to the power of its ideas
Right.
and the enduring relevance of its core principles.
It's like the Declaration has become a universal symbol
Like so.
of freedom and self-determination,
Self-determination.
a beacon of hope for those striving for a more just and equitable world.
Exactly. And that enduring legacy is something an AI would undoubtedly want to highlight,
Yeah.
recognizing the profound impact of this, seemingly simple document
Right.
on the course of human history.
This entire deep dive has been an incredible journey.
It has.
It's amazing how looking at the Declaration
Yeah.
through an AI's eyes has revealed so many layers of meaning and complexity
So many layers.
that we might have missed otherwise.
Yeah.
As we conclude this exploration,
All right.
what's the one key takeaway
Okay.
you would want our listeners to remember?
I think the most important takeaway is to cultivate critical thinking and to embrace the power of multiple perspectives. Just as an AI can analyze the Declaration with a detached and logical lens, we too can benefit from questioning our assumptions,
Yeah.
challenging our biases,
Okay.
and seeking out alternative interpretations.
Right.
It's about engaging with these ideas actively
Right.
and not just accepting them at face value.
It's a powerful reminder that history is not just a collection of static facts,
It's not.
but an ongoing conversation.
And by engaging in that process with an open mind,
Yeah.
we can gain a much richer and more nuanced understanding of the past
Right.
and perhaps even chart a better course for the future.
Well said. This deep dive has been incredible. It's amazing how even a document
Yeah.
as familiar as the Declaration of Independence can still hold, like hidden depths and complexities that we might miss without the help of,
Yeah.
AI's analytical power.
And as AI continues to evolve, who knows what other insights it might reveal
Right.
about our history, our values, and ourselves.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
They are.
Well, this has been another incredible deep dive.
It has.
Thanks for joining us.